And we are live. Welcome to What's Your Grail. I'm your host, Tony Sanders. And tonight, my guest is a man amongst the community. He dares to defy every week. It is CWoodard19.
How's it going, guys? Thanks a lot once again for having me, Tony. I got what I think are grails the show. We can get into that in a little bit, but I got a nice, healthy stack of books. Hopefully, everybody will enjoy. And you guys know me; I'm like a broken record. I had to bring the sketchbook to this one too. So,
but that sketchbook kills, man. Every time you showed it, like that, I like you mesmerized us for like what, an hour watching it. you're like, yo, like the stuff in that book was crazy. We got Splash Page Comics, Hope Nuts, Comic Books NYC, The Model Vault, Rag 718. Good to have y'all in the chat. So yeah, this is a show about different people's grails. You know, basically like it's never the same thing. I can go talk to 10 people in a room and they'll all be different. And I always start off with like, what do you consider your holy grails?
My holy grails. I mean, those are just I think I watched your last episode the other day, and it's kind of like Big E's put it perfectly. I think we have the same one. The holiest of holy grails will be Action Comics #1. When I first started reading books, with the death of Superman, obviously Superman was the first comic I ever held, read, and enjoyed, and was shocked by when they killed him off. So for me, it'd be Action 1, and of course Detective 27, first appearance of Batman. And then WhoDat recently got one of my other holy grails, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, that first print.
Oh, yeah.
That was like my childhood right there. The first any fictional characters I ever enjoyed. It was Michelangelo of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was my guy as a kid. So for me, like those are would be the biggest of big three. Obviously, one's a lot lower value, but it's still pretty up there for my means.
Hey, that's what the show's about. Like, if that's a grail to you, that's a grail, man. I mean, you can't. Nope. I mean, people are going to argue, but like they really can't because it's like at the end of the day, it's you collect how you like to collect, and it's your grail.
Sure, absolutely.
And it's like, let's see, like this book right here is considered. Some people consider it a grail, some don't. I don't know. To me, it's a grail because like it's a Secret Wars #8, and
oh, nice.
And everybody like has this in their collection or at least tries to get a copy of it.
Yeah, this is one of the ones I was going to pull out tonight too.
Oh,
so. Last week you guys talked about how the community is such a great way to start to get these grails.
Yeah,
I've definitely bought this on one of the community auctions. It might have been from WhoDat once again, and I got this book from, if I remember correctly. So, glad to have this one in the collection. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, see, that's why I was like, I had to get this. This was my birthday present to myself last
nice.
year.
You got some signature. You got that triple signed. It looks like.
Yep.
Nice.
You got John Beatty, Mike Zeck, and Jim Shooter, and like this is to me, it's like I love the black suit. Whenever I seen, whenever I first read this when I was a kid, I didn't really, I didn't know. I was like, oh wow, it's cool. He's got a black suit now. So whenever they were
this year, I put this bad boy on my 2019 list, and for my stuff, in the past, like for most of the years, I try not to pay more than $40 a book. So pretty much like almost every single book I show, I don't pay more than $40 for. But this one, I got so frustrated I couldn't find it for the right price. I finally just paid, I think it was like $50-ish. I felt like I was like, man, I'm paying so much for that. But this book, I'm so happy to have it finally in the collection. So once again, another community auction win. So I know the big dog Roman Curtis, he's bidding it up against me, and he gets a little salty when he sees it. But I'm extremely happy to have this one in the collection too. So I'm right there with you, man. I just remember reading the old Wizard magazines when I was a kid and seeing some of the other materials, and you see like, man, like when did Spidey have that black costume? And then you watch the cartoon and stuff, and you see that whole story. I'm like, man, I want that first appearance of that black costume. So
and then it's the whole
just this year to get this.
Yeah, it's a whole rabbit hole of black suits.
Oh yeah,
and then like Reggie even has something that I've like he shows and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not even gonna try.
Now, I've had 3 of the 4 first appearances too, and it took me until this year to get this. Like the other one, I think it was the Marvel Tales one, the Marvel Team Up.
Yeah,
I found that one for $3 in an antique store.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I was finding that one for cheap. I got a great deal on the other one from WhoDat. And then I think actually the one with Black Cat on it, the Spectacular, I found that for $1 as well. So I'm like, I thought the stars, the moons, or whatever were lining up. I'm gonna find 252 for cheap, but I just finally lost patience, and I just was like, Erod put up a great copy on the Warriors auction. I'm like, I'm just gonna get Erod's copy and call it a day on trying to find this book.
Telling you, sometimes you just got to go for it. Like, you know,
Oh yeah, I agree.
it's like I'll see stuff, and I remember Thanatos was talking about that when he got that 9.9, and he said like he made a mistake and he should have just bought it right then.
Yeah,
and him and TJ were bidding each other up. And
what
I'm
a
just
crazy
like,
story that is.
and it's like, to me, it's like I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna actually like I'll try to just buy it. But like if I'm like bidding on something and nobody else is bidding and I'm just like watching it and I know nothing's gonna happen, I'll just throw out like a crazy bid and then
Yeah.
and hope it gets the minor bid.
No, the best new thing in the realm of eBay is that best offer button. I've gotten so many things using that best offer button. I think this one here, and Poor Man's Comics kept wanting me to buy a 9.8 copy of this on Instagram today, but I'm like, dude, I just found this for like, I got it in a lot of like 47 G.I. Joe books, but I threw a best offer of $47 and actually won on eBay. So now I got like this minty copy of G.I. Joe #1. And this is another one of those. It's like that, obviously it's not as big book as the Turtles one, but for me, this is a grail just because I love G.I. Joe as a kid as well, too. And I always just wanted a really nice copy of this book, too. And once again, I think I got this in December. It took me that long to get this book, but I got the right price for it.
Yep. Can't complain on that, man. It's whatever you get that makes you happy.
Yeah. And I'll show you my other awesome dollar find while I'm thinking about dollar finds. I found this.
Oh, yeah.
Last year. This is my best dollar find ever, probably, just because it doesn't look like it'd ever been read. And there's like this outlet store, a Half Price Books outlet store. I don't know if that's the only one that exists. It's not a normal one, but usually anything that comes through their store, they throw $1 on it, put it in their bins or on their shelves or whatever. So one day I just stumbled. It was like, seriously? I thought it was like a multiple print or something. I took it home and I'm like, I don't think there is a multiple print with a normal cover. So it's just, I found it was the first print for $1. So yeah, this is definitely probably my best just cheap bin find by far, I would say, just because of the condition and the fact that it was $1. So very happy with that one.
And that's probably somebody's grail right there that you got.
Yeah.
Like,
I love me some Neil Gaiman for sure.
That one that you always be showing, the Why the Last Man, that's heating up, and that's a modern grail.
Yeah,
I talk about too.
I only have one top loader, and Why the Last Man #1's in the top loader. I need to get me some more of these, but yeah, for me, I mean, this is a grail book all day for me, just because like I love just a really good story. Like I'm sure most people in the chat and watching do. For me, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think this is the best comic book story post 2000 for me. Like in the modern era of comic books, I think this is the finest full run of comics constructed. Green Lantern by Jeff Johns is very close second for me, but I think this one, I've never sat there and binge read a comic as fast as I have Why the Last Man. So I definitely wanted to own this first issue because I knew that TV show was inevitable. So I made sure I got a copy of this before that TV show news hit.
Yeah, they're already showing stuff on that TV
show.
And
it's going to be on FX too, and they've done an excellent job with TV shows. Like Legion is awesome too. I don't know if you caught Legion, but man,
I watched it.
It's as good as Legion. Why is going to be big? I think
that's going to be crazy though. That's like because I was looking at that book the other day because you kept showing it, and I was looking. I was like, well, I won't be getting any Wise.
Yeah, as I say, I haven't looked at the price for a minute, but. Luckily, once again, I think it's one of those best offers. I got the first half of the whole run of Why the Last Man, which I only have the hardcovers, so I needed the individual issues. But I was at least patient and got a good price on this one.
Well, that's cool, man. Let me give a quick couple shout outs. We got Comic Books NYC, we got Fuchsia Only, DS Comics, Who Dat Comics and Movies, and Mo is in the house, and Comic Head 84, another one of my moderators. So I will show this book, and I was asked to show the book on Bueller's channel on Sunday, and I was like, no, I'm not going to show it, Bueller, because the story behind it, if you never heard the story behind this book, is I was on Instagram, and Alex the Comic Hoarder had posted some books for sale, and he had posted one that I'd been looking for, and it was and you know, it was $125. It was a sun bleached copy of X-Men 94. So
oh man,
and so I'm looking and I'm like, you know, there was only like one person that had responded besides me, and it was like in some foreign language. I didn't know what the guy said, and so I typed in there. Now, be unknowns to me at this time, Bueller is talking to Alex, asking, you know, hey, I want the book, but you know, I can't get it till Monday. And like at that time, I'm texting Alex, like, I'm like, what's your PayPal email? I'm like, I'm buying it right now. And
that's really funny.
And that's what I told him. And I was like, you know, and then like I didn't know until like we did the hunt and Bueller was on there, and I pulled the book out, and then Bueller was like, oh, really? And let me have it. But yeah, this is the
nice. I really want that book too. Yeah, because Bueller doesn't spend that much on his books. He spends all his time in the 50-cent and dollar bins.
Yeah,
and he really wants a copy of that then.
Yeah, he really does. And it's we call it the black and white variant.
Nice. The Copic.
But yeah, I keep like that's like a funny thing to have because it came from Alex Comic Hoarder, and like me and Bueller got that story with it, so it's kind of funny to me.
Yeah, I think I got one book in here I actually got off of Alex way back when in the old Snups days, which if any of those guys are watching, they're probably not left over anyway. But yeah, the only one I think I bought off of Alex I got to show tonight. I got this Green Lantern 16, the First Star Sapphire. I just want to show this because my oldest Green Lantern book, and I love me some Green Lantern. Hal Jordan, he's one of my boys. I would love to start collecting like that first run of 10 and obviously the showcase books, but that's I guess we count that under the Holy Grail too, that showcase 22.
Yeah,
so
that's
I put that up there with Turtles 1.
Those are the ones that are like up there on them Green Lanterns. And then like what I find funny is that Thanatos he collects those, but he won't collect the Golden Age, and I understand why he won't do the Golden Age because I've looked at like
are not cheap.
Yeah, I looked at like a couple of the Alan Scott ones, and I'm like, nope.
Yep, I think the only person I've seen show them on the YouTube community is probably Marky from the New York Warriors. I think has some of those.
Yeah,
there's some nice books.
Marky has a lot of good books. So this one right here is the aforementioned artist grail that we talk about. And this one, when I seen it, I had to get it because like I'm a Captain Marvel fan, but like the artwork was done by Mark Brooks, and it was just amazing. And it's white pages. It's a 9.6. I wish it was a 9.8, but oh well.
Yeah,
can't be too picky. But it's the one where she's got all, you know, there's
that's a nice cover.
Yeah, the Warbird, and then she has like where is it at the original costume, then the binary, and then her current costume, and then signed by Mark Brooks right there. He's got an atrocious signature, but
yeah, he does. Wow. I think his signature's actually gotten worse.
Yeah, so it's like but he kills it though on some of his covers. Like this one I love. Oh yeah. And then that one he did recently on what was it, Detective, where it was like all blue or whatever.
Yeah, I might have that one though.
I got it in my box somewhere. I didn't have it.
Yeah, I think I already stashed that one away too.
And it's like I'm just sitting on that one, just like that Harley Quinn. What is it? Just.
But I mean, I think probably the ultimate artist grail for me was this book here, just because I love Jock so much and his artwork. I finally able to get this book. But luckily, once again, I didn't have to pay those crazy eBay prices for it. But I just like the whole Black Mirror storyline too is the main reason I wanted to get this whole run. But then this cover had to blow up. So, but my buddy, who's also a big Jock fan, he lives up in Chicago. We were talking about him a little bit before the show. He said Jock was selling like big $100 prints of this at I think it was a MondoCon. Or I think Dallas Fan Expo, maybe. I would love to get one of those. I could only imagine how much those things are actually worth. But apparently there are prints of these floating around out there somewhere too that are just like huge.
Really?
I've never even seen them listed online.
See, that's like one that I want to get, but it's like I always thinking I'm going to find it in the wild somewhere.
Yeah, no, anything's possible.
And it's like, oh, and to the Slab Dragon, just to let you know, I was talking to CWoodard a minute ago to let you know I did actually buy a Golden Age book from 1947, and it will be making an appearance tomorrow night. So if you want to know what it is, show up tomorrow night on the hunt when we go up against your boy JD, when I go up against Jeffrey, and I'm taking over New York because Erod, I'm coming for the title. So yeah, but I did actually buy a Golden Age book. So JD's wearing on me.
Nice.
So that'll be on the hunt tomorrow. So y'all get a chance to see that. And the dogs. Somebody's here. Probably my niece or nephew. But this one's another one. And I'm a fan of Arthur Adams, but like somebody that reminds me of Arthur Adams is Ed McGuinness, and I'm a fan of Ed McGuinness.
Oh yeah, Ed's awesome.
And when I seen this book, I mean, it's not like really a big book to anybody else, but to me, it's just like one that I just love the cover of it, and it's 9.6 white pages. And, hold on, let me take it out of here because I just kind of like looking at it, but
oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I bet that'd be a great book for you. It's got your buddy Captain Marvel on there, 9.6 gold label. That's awesome, man.
And Ed McGuinness is like one of my favorite artists. Like he's killing it on that on the Avengers run that he was doing.
Yeah, no, I've been a big fan of him since the Superman Batman stuff with Jeff Loeb back in the early 2000s. I think that might have been the second thing I ever read from Loeb besides the what was it? The Long Halloween. That's the other thing I read and really enjoyed. But I'll go ahead and show this because I want to talk about the Ed McGuinness cover they did with X-23 on it. There's a swipe of this. My brother bought a copy of that when he was at Louisville Comic-Con last December. But yeah, I figured to get this out of the way. On Grail shows, I got to show this one. So when we talk about Grails, like, because I was driving home, I'm like, Tony's going to ask me, what my definition of a Grail is. And at the end of the day, I think it's just like, if 10-year-old me was like, I'm never going to own that, but that'd be really awesome one day to have. This is that book. Like I even told because this was in my comic shop on the wall. Like I just happened to walk in there the second he was hanging it up to put on sale. And for some reason, instead of going by like actual price, he's going by the book. Like who goes by the book anymore? Like the physical printed book.
Really?
And he's just like, I didn't want to be called a price gouger, so I'm pricing it at this. I'm just like, get that book off the wall. We're gonna look at this book. And I just wanted to make sure, it had the value stamp in it and everything. I had him flip through it, and I'm just like, like I said, I try not to spend too much money on books.
You were sitting there like
this is better than money in the bank, man.
You were like cheesing in the inside. I know that dude. You were like, yeah. You were like just cheesing, like giddy, dancing around, like, oh, please, I'm about to get this. I can't.
Yeah, exactly. I'm lucky I'm not married because I get chewed out. like I said, I didn't break the bank buying this, not even close. So I'm just happy that this one I don't get. As you could probably kind of tell by the books I've showed so far, I don't do a lot with slabs, but I'm probably going to get this one's end up slab.
It looks good though. That's like one.
Yeah, like I said, there's just like gnarly crease by the Hulk that's going to knock off a lot of points, and then the ticks. But I mean, it presents extremely well. The interior of the book's beautiful. So because we scrolled page by page.
Yeah, because it looks good. I mean, like even on the cover and stuff. So that's like, what do you think you'll probably get on it? Like what, like 7, lower than that?
I was thinking 6.5 ballpark maybe. It'd be nice to get that 7, but I think it's like probably right above that mid-grade range, in my opinion. So, but yeah, that's probably one I might send it to one of the pressers in the community. I was thinking Midwest Comic Man Paul, since he's my pal in the Comic Corps. He keeps teasing me about sending him books. I'm like, I'm gonna send you something, and I just forget about it. And I'm like, man, I need to get this book pressed so I can go to C2E2 and drop it off, or one of those cons that they're going to be at. So definitely do that. And then I was thinking about getting this one graded too. I'll keep showing a couple books just to get them out of the way. I got this from CWoodard recently as well. The Micro Series Raphael #1, first appearance of Casey Jones. So I was talking about Turtles earlier and how much they're part of my childhood. It's like, I know I can't have that Turtles 1, the first appearance of Turtles. So I may as well at least get the first appearance of one of my other favorite characters, Casey Jones. So This is another one I might get graded soon, just because why not? It's an awesome book. I really like having it in the collection.
Yep, that is cool. There's a lot of Turtle fans, man. People act like,
oh yeah,
like, oh, I'm not a Turtles fan. Yeah, you are. You've watched the movie. You've sung "Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go."
Yeah. I think you guys were showing this one last week. I just showed this one in my haul this week, actually. It was on my 2019 want list, so very happy to finally get this one as well. I know you guys were talking about that Neil Adams like long leg that he hates.
Yep, the long leg.
Yep.
And I didn't know I didn't know to who that told me. When who that told me that, I was like,
yeah. But yeah, I think the next, because I wanted something, you know, we talk about artist grails and stuff, and like for me, you know, I'm not a huge fan of like the more current Neil Adams stuff that he's done, but that 70s Neil Adams, man, like I want as much of that as I can get. So this year, I'm like, this is my Neil Adams book to get. Which actually, I probably have a whole pile of Neil Adams I can show off of here. But I think after this, I want that Muhammad Ali book next.
Yeah, I've looked at it a couple times. Like I've looked at it a few times.
But I think in terms of Neil Adams, in this stack, yep. See, this is how much I actually like Neil Adams. I had 3 books, all Batman from in here. So here's my 232.
Oh, I love that cover.
This is my other best find ever, besides the Sandman #1. This one, some people might consider better. There's a tape pull or 2 on it, but it's in the white spot, so it presents really well. But I found this for $3 in an antique shop.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, so this has been one of my greatest finds ever, easily. So got this one for $3. I've had good luck with Batman Neil Adams. This one, it's a potato, as some of the people in the community call it. It's wrecked, but I got it in a lot. Like it's probably like $3 a book in that lot. But as you can see, it's been well loved. Because there's like little tears and stuff on the side, but it's still, I love this cover. It's that first, you know, Two-Face since the Golden Age, basically. So happy to have that in the collection. And my other lucky book I got, I think it was probably around Christmas time. My local shop was doing mystery boxes for some. They've never done mystery boxes before. I'm just like, okay. So I saw some of the books on Instagram he was putting up, and I'm like, he's gonna sucker me into getting one of these. So I did. I got his DC one eventually, and this was in it. So I got this awesome Joker cover, and I only paid like $30 for the mystery box. I'm like, well, this was easily worth it.
Yeah.
Even though once again, it's been well loved. It's a little bit wrecked. It's probably better than the Two-Face 234, but I'm still extremely happy to have this one in the collection. So. Like I said, I've had good luck tracking down Neil Adams stuff recently.
And see, that's a cover grail right there, or an artist grail, or whatever you want to call it. But
yep.
2 of those, you know, out of 2 of the group, you can pick.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, like to me, like I said, like this book is nothing really special. It's just something that I had over. Well, not special. It's special to me because like I don't have Captain America #1 from Timely Comics, and I don't know if I ever will. And I'm not saying that never say never. Maybe I'll find it in the wild or something. Hopefully, that'd be a great find as well. But it's just like it's just a homage cover, and I always like this homage cover because it's just, you know.
Oh yeah, it's very nice.
Captain America punching Hitler and stuff. So I always liked it. And there's a.
Who did that cover?
It's Keith Spanuth. Keith Spanuth cover. But then there's another one done by Alex Ross that I'm going to get too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's the Alex Ross cover, so I'm going to have like that one and this one.
Yeah, actually those are some books they're on the wall, so I didn't take them off the wall. But I do have some Alex Ross grails just because he signed the books for me. So, but I have a Kingdom Come #1 that is kind of a grail of my. Actually, I had him sign all 4 of them, so it was all kind of grails in my collection. Just because when I was reading as a kid, I just could not believe how good that art was. It's like I think I read it when I was 12 or 13.
Yeah, that's a good story, good art on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I remember when he came in the game, it was just like people were like, "What in the world?" You know, it's like realistic. You know, as you at that time, you know, before all the digital. Vomit and stuff that people do now, but you know, some of it's cool, some of it, you know, it's just like a little too much. But
yeah, I guess here's another one of my like kind of cover type artist girls. He did the book, but here is Soulfire #1. We were talking about Jeff Loeb earlier, but just probably one of my favorite Mike Turner covers ever. This was I think it was a Wizard World Chicago, probably 06, 05, somewhere around there, Virgin variant. And actually got signed by Turner and Steigerwald at the bottom.
Man, Mike Turner.
Yeah,
I always wondered,
favorites.
like I always wondered, like if he was still around, like would he be the man and not J. Scott Campbell? Like,
yeah, exactly. No, he'd be doing covers for everything in his sleep at this point. He's still doing. I mean, he's still somehow putting out covers. Like I think he's been called basically the Tupac of the comic cover world somehow. So yeah, I got this one, and I took this one off the walls because I wanted to show it off. Now you guys were talking about Silvestri on the last one, but I got Witchblade #1. I also got signed by Turner at the bottom, but also I don't even think he had anything to do with the book. I don't know why I had his signature put on it. No, this is years ago, but I also got Silvestri's big purple signature on the corner there too. I think it's just because it was the Top Cow booth, and he was pretty much signing everything that was there that day. But yeah, I got a double signed Witchblade by Turner and Mark Silvestri. So I thought that was really awesome. And I bought this one as a kid too off the rack. So when Witchblade 1 came out, I bought it.
I remember the show. They even had a show for that, which was crazy, I thought at the time. But
oh yeah. I remember it was on TNT after Nitro, I think.
yeah, that's why I remember watching it. I'd be watching Nitro, and then it would come on after that, and I'd be like, I guess I'll watch some of it. You know, it's a superhero kind of thing. So
yeah,
but yeah, that was just like, to me, that like I've got the other Witchblade or whatever. I got Darkness 1. I want him to sign my Darkness 1. And,
yeah, I got one right over there in the corner, signed by Silvestri.
Yeah, like that's on my, because like that's like on my Grail hunt right now, and it's like I want to get McFarlane's, and I was gonna buy it.
McFarlane's one person I've never met. I just, for some reason, I've met, I think it's kind of, I forgot to get a Robert Kirkman book. I have one on the wall I was gonna take down, but I just forgot about it for some reason. But I actually had an opportunity to get like something signed by 5 of the 7 Image founders. Like there was a Wizard World panel, they were all just together. I obviously the only 2 missing were McFarlane and Jim Lee, like your 2 big names of that whole lot.
Yeah.
And I just probably was going to have my sketchbook or something. I didn't have a lot of books on me at the time, and not advertised or anything for this entire show. Robert Kirkman just sits down at the end of the table, and all these other people start storming toward Kirkman because, you know, this was when he was announced as a higher up at Image like he is now.
Yeah.
So being a Walking Dead, Invincible fan, Marvel Zombies fan, I'm like, I just go meet Robert Kirkman. So I still met a lot of the Image creators. Like I think the only one out of that lot I haven't really went and met again is Rob Liefeld, just because he usually either has a big line or is charging, and I just never got the opportunity to go meet him. But I met Wolf Portacio. He was really awesome.
Yeah.
Jim Valentino, he was really nice.
Yeah, I just got a Jim Valentino book the other. Well,
nice.
It was one of those ones where I put like just like a stupid bid in because like I was like, I'm not gonna bet on it, you know, because like it's, to me, I want it because it's gonna help complete what I'm doing. So it was like 15. I think it was like 15 or $10 or something like that, and I just threw like a weird bid in there to see if I would get it, and so I did win it. So I got Valentino's.
That's cool.
And I already got Lee's. I already got Liefeld's, and I'll probably get another one from Liefeld. I don't know, but I'm trying.
Yeah, because he just got announced for C2E2 this week.
Yeah, and I don't know what I wanted. I should have bought that ugly Superman and had
my brother actually, I don't know how he got him. It was a convention I just didn't go to with him. I think I was still in college at the time, and he made my sister go with him, so we'd have like an accomplice in line. They came back with like dual Rob Liefeld sketches.
Man,
yeah, they were free. He used to, before the whole Deadpool craze, he used to just sketch for free. So you know, and I've been a little critical of Rob Liefeld's work and stuff, but at the end of the day, before this whole like Deadpool thing, he used to be like a really nice, genuine guy. My only other Liefeld story I can think of is when me and my brother were talking about Chicago pizza joints before the show started, and me and my brother were going to Wizard World, and that's over in Rosemont, which is it's a train ride and a hike away from actual Chicago. So you hear like, oh, Wizard World Chicago, and Chicago this and Chicago that. A lot of the stuff that actually takes place in Chicago will take place in Rosemont because they have the Rosemont Horizon, which is now the Allstate Arena. and they have the convention center where Wizard Worlds take place and such. So there was only like one pizza joint near there. It was a Giordano's, which is like the biggest chain in Chicago. And me and my brother went there, and we put our name in, and like half an hour later, here comes Rob Liefeld's entire fan club. And Liefeld's with them. And then it was just, my brother thought it was funny. We got seated before Rob Liefeld, and he was just like, he thought they were going to have the table ready for him, but they didn't. It was just really funny. I don't know why, but it made me laugh. Still makes me laugh today. Rob Liefeld waiting for a pizza table.
Let me give a couple quick shout outs to Diggs Kingdom, Comic Book Noob, Economics and Comics, another one of my moderators, A Poor Man's Comics, and who I've seen somebody else in here too.
Yeah, I saw Poor Man's. He's already trying to claim some of my comics still.
And Bonafide Comics, that's who it was. Bonafide Comics. So, yeah, like, so I'm just ready to go to C2E2 myself.
I know.
Like,
I can start talking about some sketch grills. Is that a new thing we can invent? Sketch grills?
Sketch grills. Because actually, if you like, if you have it on the book, it's, you know, it's still, you know, considered a grill. So
oh man, I can go over there and get some more then. But here's one. I'll start with this one because I mean it's nothing too fancy, but it's still something extremely cool to have in my opinion in my collection. This is one of the first sketch covers like Marvel ever put out. It's Fallen Sun, Death of Captain America. I think it's like because you know I think that's the first time they did the blank stuff. You could take the cons, but this one is done by J. Scott Campbell. So just to have anything at all by J. Scott Campbell, I think is really awesome.
Heck yeah.
Took this one off the wall. Like I said, nothing super special. Just a nice free quick head sketch. He didn't have to do it, but he was feeling nice that day and decided to do free head sketches for people waiting in his line. So there's that. And then I guess we can get into this bad boy here. This is, you know, this is my ultimate grail in my collection. If I had to pick one item, like pick your one thing that you will call a grail and nothing else, it's gotta be my sketchbook.
Dude, that thing, like if you've never seen his sketchbook, that thing has got some crazy stuff in it. Like he showed it, like he kept me entertained for an hour.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like a broken record to some of the people out there. Yeah, honestly, this is the baby in my collection. Like every con I go to, this thing is on my back or with an artist, hopefully in an ideal world. But I just, you know, and if you're like newer to cons and you're planning on going to a lot of cons in the next few years, especially being a part of this comic community, and we're in the middle of this convention boom right now, I recommend just going to any book or art store and just buy a sketchbook. I mean, you don't have to get the fanciest, craziest stuff, because I'll be honest, I set my limit to about $80 to $100. So I don't have any, like, I have a few full body sketches in here, but I try not to get like $300, $400 sketches in here, because if I have the money to pay for that, number one, that's awesome because I don't, and that'd be great. Number two, I'd probably get like a big giant poster frame and put it on my wall. But anyway, I just, even for writers, like I try to get like some of the writers and some of the overpriced artists I just don't have time to get sketches from to sign in here. So like a couple of them I got, like we were talking about Chris Claremont and Arthur Adams. I got them to sign there because obviously Claremont's a writer and Arthur Adams is a very busy man. I got Lionel Francis Yu there, and Jim Shooter's up in the corner now, and Jamie McKelvey, who, you know, redesigned that Captain Marvel suit and did Wicked and Divine. Kieran Gillen, Scott Snyder, Tony Moore. I'm just trying to think of anybody else. Bruce Timm signed this. Dan Slott, Jason Aaron, Brian Azzarello. I think Tim Sale. Yep, Tim Sale, Greg Rucka. So, yeah, just an idea I had one day. I'm just like, I should start filling this up. So that's kind of what I've been working on there.
See what? So there, it's official. There's now such thing as a sketch grill.
Yes. All right. I'm glad you had something to your continuity here.
That is spoken.
Awesome. So, you know, I'll start off with, I guess, a sketch grill then. We got Iron Man by Adi Granoff. This is right after he got done designing the suit for the movie. So once again, he was doing these for free because he showed up late from the airport. So he was just like, you know what? I'm sorry I'm late. You guys can have sketches if you want. We're not going to tell the guy no. So
exactly.
Oh, and then Poor Man's put in the chat, because I was trying to think of the name too. He says the best pizza place in Chicago is called Pequod's. And I've been there. I like to make fun of the people who like it because of their burnt crust. They have like a special crust they put on the end of the I just remember my buddy hated that crust, and it made my other buddy mad that he hated it. So I got a Robin by Freddie Williams III. So I think that was the first one I actually paid for, because a lot of these early ones, I was in college, they were free. Just like this Eric Larson one he did for free. He could do these in his sleep. He did this one so fast. He basically he can draw Savage Dragon as fast as he can put his signature on the paper. So it was very impressive.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So happy to have that, just because we all love some Eric Larson. Here's Ebass. He did this one for free too. So I don't know. I think it's I can't remember the character's name offhand, but it's one of those Top Cow characters, definitely. But I kind of like to see if someone could ink this one day. But yeah, he put so much crazy detail into it. I'll just try to get to some of the good ones. Here's Tim Seeley's Steak Eyes. He did this one for the Hero Initiative. He was just taking donations, and he was mainly working on G.I. Joe at the time for Devil's Due Entertainment, which was I think it was a subsidiary of Image at the time. But yeah, he killed it on that one.
Yeah, that is clean.
And then I got some sketches from the day Michael Turner passed away. So I always like telling the story about this one, just because it sucked, obviously, the day Mike Turner died. But I've never felt a convention center, just the energy just got sucked out of it for like the first few hours of that announcement. But what a lot of the artists and the creators did there that day, they went to the Aspen booth, and you saw like 8 to 10 artists at a time just sketching his characters at the Aspen booth. That whole company he built from the ground up. So it was just a really cool, experience to see, that community of artists come together and show support for, Aspen and that stuff, because, they're going to be without their founder. So yeah, I got that one from Kenneth Rockefort.
I'm looking for a Fathom 1 signed by him, because.
Oh, nice. I think this is another artist. If I remember, I heard he passed away too. Tommy Castillo, I believe it is. So yeah, that was done. Yeah, you see these RIP mics going throughout the sketchbook on a couple of these sketches. And then here's one from Jason Craig, who did the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. So my brother got a Freddy, so I had to get a Jason. But I do like both characters, so I definitely wanted to get one of those two characters. Here's a Shane Davis Green Lantern. So I had to get one Hal Jordan for the book. And this is another one I'm thinking about maybe trying to get an inker to go over it one day.
It is clean too.
Yeah. This is the artist who worked on Rage of the Red Lanterns at the time. So it's still probably his best work is that book. Quick free sketch from Riley Brown. Just Deadpool with a machete in his head. So he did that one pretty quick too. Let's see what else I could show here real quick. Phil Hester did the darkness for me. Phil Hester, that guy can draw quick. Like he did. I also had him do a Green Arrow on my Green Arrow #1 from the Kevin Smith run. And that guy, like, it probably takes him 30 seconds to do a head sketch. It's pretty nuts.
Man, that's like, see, I like those. Like,
yeah.
I don't really have any like sketches though. It's like I have that's like one thing I haven't got done yet. And I almost pulled the trigger on it was like on eBay, and it was like a Captain Marvel sketch.
Yeah.
And I almost pulled the trigger. Oh, that's a cool spider. Is it Bagley?
Yeah, Bagley. Another, you want to talk sketch grails. This one was a sketch grail for me. Mark Bagley. And the funny story about this was at the original C2E2, the 2010 one. And the reason I keep calling it the original C2E2 is because it was a newer convention. They had all these great artists, like the Kuberts were there, Mark Bagley. I think Alex Ross was there. But like, there was like a fraction of the attendance you'd see now at these repop conventions. So like, I walked right up to Bagley and I'm like, "Sir, it's an honor to meet you, blah, blah, blah." I was just fanboying out basically. And I'm just like, "Can you just draw me because he has a commission list, you pay him obviously." So this one was not free if anyone was wondering, but I'm just like, "Can I just get an Ultimate Spider-Man for my book?" He's just like, "Let me get this straight. You want specifically Ultimate Spider-Man, so there's a big difference there for you." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I get it, sir. I just would like a Spider-Man, please." And he just laughed.
Man, because like,
that's a sketch trail for me.
Him, Liefeld, not Liefeld, but McFarlane, and Larson. That's what I meant to say was Larson.
Yeah.
Them three men, like in a row, was just like, it just kept that book just going, and it was just like, to me, it was like Bagley. Like, a lot of people thought it was different, and I was like, I like Bagley's work from when he was his time on New Warriors to when he went to Spider-Man. I was like,
the best thing about Bagley is not a lot of people give him credit for. He's consistent and he's very efficient. Like when they did that, I don't think it's the greatest weekly series in the world, but when DC did that Trinity series, he drew every issue of that comic book. And there's probably not another artist out there at all who could pull that off. But here's my next one. This is Mike McKone's Dr. Doom. So I really like Mike McKone from Teen Titans at the time, but he's starting on Fantastic Four. And I'm a big Marvel vs. Capcom 2 fan for the Sega Dreamcast. So I'm just like, man, my favorite character in that is probably Dr. Doom. So I'm like, dude, I just want a Dr. Doom. I love me some Fantastic Four, some video games. And at the time, I think this is the best sketch in the book.
Yeah, that is clean. Are they still talking about doing Are they still talking about doing that standalone Doom movie, or are they just shelved it?
I'm not sure. I hope not. I just want them to do one good Fantastic Four movie, and then they can think about anything spin-off wise. They just need to focus on one thing at a time. Next up, here's Mike Deodato's Wonder Woman. This one, once again, this is when Wizard World started to be on the outs a little bit. You saw some artists there, but it was mainly about celebrities and trying to get people to pay $50, $100 for celebrity autographs. So you still had creators like Mike Deodato at the con, but their artist alley was very fractured and broken up. And then you had artists like Mike Deodato and upcoming Will Conrad, who's another great artist. They weren't even at Artist Alley. They put them with a art college. And they didn't tell anybody. Yeah, they didn't advertise it. They didn't do anything. So I couldn't find them. I assumed they no-showed. So I just was walking around the vendor alley, and I see this art college sign, and it says something about Mike Deodato. I was like, oh my God, is he actually here? And him and Will Conrad, they're just chilling at this table doing nothing, waiting for somebody to walk up to them. And I'm just like, you guys aren't doing commissions, are you? I'm like, yes, please give us something to do. So I'm just he worked on Wonder Woman. I can't remember which issue it was. I think it was the 90s, around 100s in the 90s, which I had that holographic one at the time. It's just who is Wonder Woman or something like that in holographic letters. It was 90s-ify as I put it. So that's what I got signed. I'm like, yeah, it'd be cool to have a good Wonder Woman. And he's like, I can do that for you. So he hooked me up with this awesome Wonder Woman. And then, like I said, right next to him was Will Conrad. Kind of why he was drawing this, I snuck over to Will Conrad. I'm like, hey, man, I noticed you got no one here. Do you want to do something next in my book? And he's like, sure. So I just started handing guys out money at this table, and he gave me this X-23. So once again, just another cool sketch I'm happy to have in the book, because he was working on X-23 at the time. I think it was, I can't remember if it was her first single series she had outside of the NYX and the miniseries, something like that. I can't remember. It's been so long.
That's cool, man. That book, like I said, he the first time I seen his sketchbook, man. Y'all getting to hear exclusively sketch grails.
Yeah. Now. This one, I think this one's my second favorite now overall. This is Todd Knock. This is the thing he did for me. I think he's coming to C2E2 as well. So he's raised his rates a little bit.
I got that 9.8.
Nice.
It's a 9.8 Spider-Man 794, and he did the West Coast Avengers on the cover.
Oh, cool. I think the coolest cover he's put out in the last few years, it was this 4-part Wolverine cover where it's a Where's Waldo style, where he just jammed in as many versions of Wolverine as he could. And it took 4 covers to complete the whole picture. Man. But yeah, I think this is he does Copic cheaper instead of color. So I'm like, all I can afford at the time was Copic. But he's nice enough to at least draw in the blue eyes for the blue-eyed thing. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, he did a good job on that one.
Yeah, like I said, he knocked out of the park. Here's another one of my favorites. This is Booster Gold and Skeet.
Booster, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's one of my boys. I know.
I don't care what nobody says.
But yeah, Norm Ratman did this, but I have what's called my comic book boys. So it's just mostly characters that most people kind of don't like, but you like specifically. So it's Animal Man and Booster Gold, and then Connor Kent Superboy. Those are my boys. So happy to have him.
I'm down with Booster, man. I'm down
with
Booster.
He's on my 2019 list. I still need a Booster Gold #1. But back to Sketch Grails. Next one. This is probably my biggest Sketch Grail, in my opinion, for me. George Perez is in the book. So happy to have a George Perez. My favorite artist, period. He did the Scarlet Witch. And he doesn't, at the time, he didn't charge hardly anything for this. He could have, like, being George Perez, he could have charged so much more for commissions. But I think at the time I only paid like $25 for this. Like, just someone of his caliber and talent and draw to charge like almost nothing for his commissions. Like, that just shows how nice of a guy he is.
Man, see, now you got me thinking about getting my sketchbook, like buying a sketchbook and be like, when we go to C2E2, yeah, draw this in there. And I got a blank sketch cover too. Draw something on this for me.
Yeah, see, I always have a backup sketch cover just in case, because sometimes you got to drop these off for a whole day and you got to have that backup. So I have a whole wall of sketch covers over there too.
Yeah. I should get, like, I don't know, like, I'll be like, yo, George Perez, draw me a Captain Marvel.
I think he's going to C2E2 as well. We got Barry Kitson. At the time, he was doing these for free, but man, you had to wait. It took me like a whole day of waiting at his table, but it was worth it. He's a very fun guy to chat with, and he's very entertaining too. He knows he'll have that line, and he tries to keep you entertained the whole day. But yeah, he's doing wisecracks and everything on people walking by, and, and he was real cool. Eventually, I'd like to get the whole Fantastic Four in here. Once again, I want to keep using it because I created it. I got another Sketch Grail. It's like I said, it was quick, it was free, but I got a Kevin Eastman Ninja Turtle for the book, so
definitely Eastman.
Yeah, and then I think it was Spidey Fan a little while back sold me a Turtles lot, and he had another turtle on a blank cover, so I got that on my wall downstairs in my living room. But I'm glad to have one for the book. Oh, here's one. I can't remember the artist's name right this second, but this guy was just at my local shop at the time, and he knocked it out of the park on this Joker. So he's just like, what do you want, classic or like Capullo Joker? I'm like, it was like 2014. I'm like, well, we got to go with the current one. So just a really cool. He drew like in the white. I don't think it turns up well on my camera too, but he actually took white out and wrote "ha ha ha" all over the page behind the Joker too. So there's a lot of just cool, like, minute details in that sketch that I really like.
That is cool, man. That is actually awesome. I like that Joker.
Yeah, there's a nice, simple Jay Lee Batman head sketch.
I remember when Jay Lee first came out, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it was like just different from everybody else's stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially when he was doing the Dark Tower book.
Yeah, like, and he just does like dark stuff, just like real cool.
But yeah, here's yet another. I'd call this a Sketch Grail. It's because I really like Steve McNiven's work. I got a Steve McNiven Groot, and the whole time he was drawing this, he was just talking about how much he loved the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So I think it was only the first one at the time, and he was working on the Guardians book, but he was just like, yeah, that movie, they knocked it out of the park. So
didn't they on the Guardians movie? Didn't they fire James Gunn, and now he's working for DC or something like that?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a really jacked up situation, just because, I mean, these tweets, no one's going to condone these awful tweets he had previously, but it's just like, at the same time, you hired this guy and employed him for like a decade after all this stuff went down, and then they did all that. I don't know. Like I said, it's a very weird situation. Here's a Gene Ha Vixen. So once again, he does sketches for Heroes donations too. So I think he did a great job for a donation. He didn't even keep any money from it. So I thought that was nice.
Oh yeah.
And another Sketch Grail, Adam Hughes, Supergirl. So you got to get something from Adam Hughes if you can.
Yeah.
Not the fanciest.
Hey, is he gonna be a C2E2? I wish he was.
I don't think Hughes is. He might have been last year or the year before. I bumped into him a few times since then. Here's Daryl Banks, Kyle Rayner. This is another like piece of my childhood here, because the first Green Lantern I ever read was Kyle Rayner, and Daryl Banks drew it. So when I had the opportunity to get like a full body cheap sketch from Daryl Banks, I'm just like, and so I actually told Daryl Banks, I'm like, dude, like 10-year-old me is smiling so big right now. And he actually got up and shook my hand again and stuff, and like he was extremely happy with this sketch. So yeah, if you ever see Daryl Banks, like, he's one of my top guys I recommend more than any other person out there. Here's this guy named Andy Bennett. Like, if you're looking for a more unknown artist, this guy, I keep bumping into him at Cincinnati Comic Expo. And you can get, I think I only paid like 40 or 50 bucks for the stuff I got from him, but I got this Eraserhead because he had like all this David Lynch stuff set up on his table. Like, I actually bought a Twin Peaks sketchbook from him too, and I'm just like, man, now I gotta get something a little different. Like, I kind of want to get a Twin Peaks character, but he seemed to have all those in his book. I'm like, yeah, screw it, I'm just gonna get Eraserhead. But yeah, I got this from him. And actually, a lot of people always see Catwoman behind me. Andy Bennett did this one as well. That's an actual sketch that he did. This is the actual sketch. There's so much detail in it. It looks like a print. But he did this Inktober sketch because, you know, sometimes on Instagram they'll like do sketches for Halloween or what have you. But he actually took his entire Inktober catalog he had and just decided to sell them at this con. I'm like, how has no one bought this yet? It was Saturday. And I'm just like, he's just like, I don't know, man. I expected that to go first thing Friday. And I thought about it. And then 2 seconds later, I was like, I'll kick myself if that's still not there. So I went and bought it from him. So I just have it always playing around my videos.
And like, that was the Catwoman I grew up with.
Yeah. The only one that he sold, because he did all the characters from all the Keaton movies, the only one he actually sold that day was Nicholson's Joker. And I'm just like, man, I would have bought both of those too, probably. Here's Bob McLeod's Beast. So I think Bob McLeod, he's still actively sketching everywhere and that stuff. So thought that was just an 80s looking beast. I absolutely love it. I think we're winding down here. Here we go. This is top sketch for me in my book, just because I think Ty Templeton only charges $75 full body, full color, which no one else does that. So I got this cool Poison Ivy from him. I was debating either Poison Ivy or Buffy the Vampire. He kept talking about, I don't know if he wrote or did a Buffy the Vampire Slayer book at once, but for some reason, like, I've always wanted to get a Buffy for this book, and I just never have. So I'm just like, I'll get it a Batman character, so I'm just going to go Poison Ivy, and I knew he'd knock it out of the park, and he did. So, yeah, but it took me 2 cons to get this, basically, because the first one I went on a Saturday. First thing, I had a VIP pass just so I could run up to his table as quick as I could and get in before everybody else. And he's one of those guys, he books up Friday, unfortunately. So if you're not there Friday first thing, you might not get a sketch. So I didn't. He's one of those guys, he tries to be really nice, but he's like, yeah, maybe if you come back at this time or Sunday at this time, I'll see what I can do. But I'm not going to keep your sketchbook or your money because I can't guarantee anything. And unfortunately, the whole dang weekend went by. It just didn't happen. So he came to Indiana Comic-Con the following year, and I'm like, I'm going Friday. I'm getting there early, and I'm going to do everything I can. Luckily, no one else showed up. There was only one person in front of me. Still took him till Saturday to get it done, though. But dang, is it nice. I think this is definitely, like, probably my top sketch in this book in terms of just nice overall quality.
Yeah, I like how I signed it in red, too.
And then, Sketch Grill alert once again. Tom Hermit, Superboy. Oh, yeah. Man, I show this to Chad from Comic Core all the time, and he gets pretty jelly about it. But yeah, I mean, this is the first character. This is one of my boys. I was extremely happy.
Hulk Nuts, wait. Hulk Nuts, you still got that #1 issue of Superboy Hulk Nuts? I told you I wanted that.
Is it the DC Universe variant?
It's the like his first solo, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, no, that was the first book as a kid that, like, I got a subscription to, like, not from a local shop, because I didn't even know those existed yet. And the mail was the first piece of mail with my name on it as a kid was Superboy #1. I have pretty much got that whole run through the mail, so they're all creased up and everything, of course.
Let me give a couple quick shout outs. We got Joe Ryan's Comics. We got 90 MF for Comics. I probably said that one wrong, but and we also got Hunter Thompson, Big Lion Cat, Pop Dot Comics, and I believe there was one more person in here I might have missed. That's why I missed Jeffrey. Jeffrey gets that, he knocks that out of the park.
Is he usually like a co-host on here?
Oh no.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm just talking about, like, whatever I'm like on with Jeffrey. Jeffrey just kills it with the shout outs.
I guess in terms of slabs, I actually have that I consider like nice personal grails. I got a lot. I mean, I bought a eBay lot last year. A lot of these books were just junked up. The bags they came in smelled so terrible and everything. But I wanted to get these books here. I had no clue of the condition at the time until I got them, and I'm just like I'm looking through them like because there's like Superboy Neil Adams covers, and these things are kind of jacked up. They're bent. I got colors that are they're comics that are different colors and everything, but somehow these comics were in there, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna screw around. I'm just gonna send them to CGC because I usually don't do that, but I did. So first I got this Green Lantern 85. It came back at 9.2.
Ooh.
So that's the Speedy Druggy issue. I don't know why I didn't send off my copy of 86, but next up I got 87 at a 9.4. So I have no idea how this came back at 9.4, just considering like how it had to have been treated since the 70s. But yeah, as soon as I saw like that these were in the middle of that awful jacked up stack and they were in this nice, awesome condition, I'm like, those are getting graded.
Man, them are some good grades too, man.
I know, I couldn't believe it. And I guess probably the only other thing I've really sent to get graded that I thought was nice that I bought as a kid from a flea market. I think I only paid like probably like $5 to $8 for this book as a kid, which for a teenage me was a lot of money at the time. But I got this Killing Joke, and it was in such good condition. I just slabbed it when I got in college. I came back a 9.6. So one of my all-time favorite reads. I love Brian Boland's art, and everyone knows how much I really like Alan Moore. So I'm like, yep, I'm happy to have this one graded in the collection too.
Man, see, I still don't have one of those yet, and it's like you gotta look at like it. That's the one that's the first print, right, with the green. Because I'm like,
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's got that green font. Otherwise, I think I had the pink one at some point. I just gave that one to a buddy. I really want. It's before all the digital comics and stuff. I just really wanted him to read the book, so I was like, "Have a copy." I got one.
Well, I'm gonna try to see if I can do this giveaway real
Oh
quick.
yeah, you got stuff to give away.
Let's see what happens here. If I can share my stuff. Can you see anything?
Yeah, it looks like you got your
Okay.
live events page up, and then yeah, there's your random dark. So it looks like you're good.
Okay, cool, sweet. So we're gonna do since there's 3 winners, we're gonna do 3 dice. So 7. And let me go through the names real quick as I can. Jeffrey. No. We got Lindsay's Geeked Up Knickknacks, Matilda Gothica. We got Nerd versus Fat, The Gray Man, John's Comics with Kids, 64-page special, Thomas Churchill, Daniel Azola, Stay Puff, 1983, Hulk Nuts, Fiverr's Revenge, 23 Fames, Decaf Raven, Gray Matter Hulk, Lost, Jam Session, A Poor Man's Comics, Wolf Blitz, Comic Book Fever, From Heroes to Icons, Collectible Paper, CWoodard19, Just the Rican, Comic Geek McD, Jeffrey Comic Con, Bake the Snake, and JD. Now, I'm hoping I didn't forget anybody, and if I did, I apologize. I went and checked like my Instagram. I went and checked on the video itself, and these are all and I even checked like on YouTube for videos with the title in it or whatever. And these are all the names I came up with. So we're gonna randomize this 7 times, and good luck to whoever the winners are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I bet y'all thought I forgot too. I did not forget to do my own contest. I just had to do a lot of stuff for Valentine's Day. 6, and the last one, and these are going to be the 3 winners. So let's see who we got. And let me see. Here we go. Lindsay's Geeked Out Knickknacks, John's Comics with Kids, and Gray Matter Hulk.
Woo!
So you are the winners.
Congrats.
So contact me on Instagram, and it should be on the video, but it's a T_Sands 007 at whatever. but but yeah, contact me on Instagram and I'll send you your codes. So Lindsay's Geek.Knickknacks, you want $100. John's Comics with Kids, you want $50. And Gray Martyr Hulk, you want $25. So those are my winners for $400. Let me see. Go back here.
I'll say good. You didn't hit that off button like I did that one time. So congratulations.
Yeah, it told me because I was like, oh, I not to do that. I'd be like, oh. No, Bueller, you didn't win. I'm sorry.
Oh man, Legends remind me. I didn't even say my catchphrase tonight. I'm sorry. I don't even think I had any to show. Did I have one to show? I probably did. Give me 2 seconds here. Oh yeah, you know what? I like that Spider-Man 252, and this one's for you, Legend, because it's a newsstand. So there you go, newsstand.
No. So we have covered some grails, and we have invented the sketch grail. And CWood, you can take claim for that, just as Reggie can take claim for artist grails. So as we do this show, grails evolve, things change, but one thing always remains the same: our love for what we do, and that's collect and go out there. Like as you can see, my twins, I call them back there. I had triplets, but but like I had to get that Rob Liefeld signed Deadpool and Cable first appearance. I was like, I had to get those. So those were like a checklist thing that I had to get, but I checked it off.
Yeah, you definitely got some very nice books up there. I'm just looking at all what you got back there. I said that giant size been eyeballing for a while, and the ASM 300 up there. Those are nice.
I'm trying to get it up there, but it just takes, when you're married, it takes a little.
Bueller says he needs that address for that X-Men 94.
Oh, what?
I wish I had won the show. I'd rub it in twice as much.
Bueller, I told you, Bueller, if I ever get rid of it, it's coming to you. I didn't say you had to buy it.
Dang, I didn't have the Hulk 181. Close enough. Oh no! I was like, where's my precious? Oh, thank God. There you go. I wanted to show one more time.
Jeffrey wants one of those so bad, and I am in the process. Yeah, I love you too, Bueller, man. I am in the process of trying, not 181, but he wants a 102. He wants a 102, and I'm looking for one of those for him, and I'm gonna send it to him because that's my bro, and if you've never talked to Jeffrey off camera, you're missing out because that dude is hilarious.
No, I think I had a whole conversation with him while I was trying to recommend Hulk books for him. He's never read Hulk the End. I'm like, dude, go find Hulk the End. That is a phenomenal read.
See, that stuff. Yeah, that is a good read. Like when I read that, and I'm not even a Hulk person, but
I wasn't either at the time.
And when I read that, I was like, that is actually a good story. And just, the way it ended, no spoiler alerts, but I'm not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. Like I said, we are going to do the show next week. I'd like to thank you, CWoodard, for coming on and being my guest. He was supposed to be my guest last week, but something happened and Big East came through, so I was like, okay. But I will be doing the show next week, and like I said, I don't know who the guest is going to be. I have to line stuff up, get it to fall into order. But all you winners that won, hit me up on Instagram. John, you already know. John's probably already. Let me check my phone. But yeah, John wins a lot. You ever notice that?
Yeah, there used to be this guy last year named Don the Doctor who would win every single contest. And I think, he moved and he just was a part of the community after that. But I don't know if he absorbed that guy's luck, but yeah, I've noticed John's Comics Kids pops up a lot in these contests toward the end.
Yeah. Reggie told me, he messaged me the other day. Reggie was like, I need your address again so I can send you this book. I was like, I won? I was like, I didn't even know I won anything. I was like,
which book is it?
it's an autographed book,
It's
and
probably mine.
I just don't,
Is it the Greg Rucka Lazarus? I think.
yeah.
That used to be mine. He won my contest, and I put that in as the first place prize.
So now it's coming to me. So
That's awesome. I'm glad.
but
enjoy that. Just think of me when you see that book.
I will now. It's like whenever I have certain books for people in the community, I was like, oh yeah, this, and I keep it. Makes it more like you like you want to keep it like a personal thing, you know. It's like,
oh, absolutely, yeah.
But we're gonna call it a night. You guys were great, and like I said, if you won, hit me up on Instagram. If you didn't win, I'm gonna do another contest. I don't know when, but I'm gonna do one. I'm about to. I think I'm about to hit 800, so I'll probably do one. I don't know. I'll do something. I'll give some more money out.
That's in that case, you'll be doing 1,000 very soon.
Y'all have a good one.